up, y'all? Welcome back to the All Fresh Chat.
Welcome back.
Today we got a special guest right here with us, Quest.For.SOUND. Pretty dope DJ, really dope DJ. Record collector.
Spins wax.
Yep.
Great wax. Cats don't do that.
45s too. And he's making his own clothing too, which is awesome. Cut Room Sessions, you can check him out on Instagram. But what's going on, dude? How you been?
Everything's lovely, man. Can't complain, you know. Work is good. You know, healthy right now. Everything's lovely. Can't complain, you know. Get to be here with y'all. So, yeah, man. Everything's good.
Yeah, we're glad to have you, bro. It's nice to start having more people, but you were on the list. One of the top.
Definitely.
Appreciate it.
I wanted to ask you, man, what do you want to go by? You know, I know you as SN, I know you as Julio,
yeah. Well, you know what? I came up with the SN thing because of the other actual, like, the Quest.For.SOUND. That's an account that I started up mainly for, you know, music. Mm-hmm. And that's why the title is there, Quest.For.SOUND. Music, DJing, especially DJing, you know, supporting the turntable community here in the Valley. Not a lot of people know that there's a lot of good DJs around here, man. Yeah. You know, so that's that page. But my personal account is under Sweet Nuts. So I actually switched off Sweet Nuts and went as SM. Because if we're starting to do our sessions, I didn't want it to kind of sound weird, especially if there's kids, you know. Right. That's one thing that crossed my mind when we first started doing these sessions, was to be open to everybody, all the ages. And I think it was our first session that we had Scratcher Coachella. Mm-hmm. There was kids there, you know, so I thought about that, and I didn't want to make it sound like it's a weird thing for kids or anybody, you know. I wanted to be like kid friendly and just respectful, you know, respectful to everybody that comes through. And that name goes back years. I've been using that for since I can remember. It's been more than 10 years since I started doing the Sweet Nuts thing. Mm-hmm. And yeah, SN kind of, you know, took the letters, the first two letters, the sweet, the S and the N,
right, and
just kind of put them together. And that's how I kind of became, like, you know, the SN1 thing.
Yeah, I remember one of the vlogs that we did for one of the scratch sessions. The homie Aronell went up to you and he's like, "Yo, it's the homie Sweet Nuts, man. How'd you get your name?" You're like, "Man, that's a story for another time."
yeah. I think that was the session.
Talking about these kids around here.
Yeah, I think that was the session we had at the coffee shop in Palm Springs.
Yeah,
that was a dope session too, right there.
Yeah, that one was fun.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, we were both coffee drinkers, and all of us are coffee drinkers.
Oh yeah, big time. We're sipping on coffee right now.
Right now.
You know? Yeah, it's a must. So yeah, that's how kind of like I came up with that.
So you want to tell us like a quick story of you, like story of Julio?
Yeah. I'm actually of Mexican indigenous descent as well as African descent. You know, I was born in Mexico. My mom's brought me here when I was about 8-9 years old. So I just been in the Valley all this time, you know. Got introduced to hip hop from a neighbor. He gave me a copy of Fat Boys, Crushing Fat Boys, and I'm still bumping that to this day. And Run DMC. That's how I got my introduction to hip hop, you know. And grew up in Palm Springs, if you know the area, right there off of Vista Chino and Caballeros, right there, kind of like by the Raymond Creek.
Palm Springs native?
Yeah, Palm Springs native, yeah. And I will walk around, you know, in Mexico. I always walked around. So in that neighborhood, I was always doing rounds, just walking around. As I was growing up, I started noticing little different things that grabbed my eye, you know. Graffiti. Started picking up on graffiti. Shout out to the homeboy Topper. First dude that I saw riding on an actual palm tree. You know, and I saw that and I was like, yo, he had flares before anybody was doing flares or anything. He had some, you know, some pretty nice flares. Later on, I met that guy and I still talk to him once in a while. That's how I kind of got introduced to graffiti.
That the first element you were pretty much exposed to?
Yeah.
You started doing?
Yeah, graffiti.
You still throw up or no?
I don't write as much, but you know, once I think once you're a writer, you're always a writer. You know, whether you're signing a check, you can see the hand styles in your in you know your S's, your E's, and you just don't ever kind of let it go. You're a writer for life. You know, even if you don't go out there and get up, you know, you're driving, you see landmark, you know, you see a throw up and you're
turn
like,
your head real quick. Like,
yeah,
oh shit, that's dope. Cool.
yeah,
Beautiful trains sometimes.
Yeah.
There's so much pieces on there.
oh, dude,
Almost getting
that's,
crashes on the freeway because it's like, dude, these guys are getting it on this one.
I'm amazed by the trains, like you said, but when they do like top to bottom, the whole cart, I'm just like, that's time consuming, you know,
Yeah.
and it's dope, it's dope. That's how I got into kind of graffiti and scratching. I actually started listening to the sound of the record being manipulated on. It's funny. Ice-T's Colors. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like if you listen to that song, there's some scratching there, and I was just like, yo, what is that? What is that? You know? And I was just like, I always hear it, and I'm like, where is that coming from? You know, how are they making this sound? I started going to high school, got more heavy into writing. Then I met Alfonso. Alfonso is the DJ, or was the DJ for this local group called Grand Finale back in the days, in the 90s. Darren was the MC, Alfonso was the DJ. And I was just like, yo, that's bad, you know? It's like, I'm actually watching someone perform, doing their thing in front of me.
Yeah.
One time we went to his house, and he had a setup, just like how Hundo has a setup right there. And he was getting busy, and I was just like, I couldn't stop watching it, you know?
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I got into knowing about scratch. But I would never ask. You know, I didn't ask. I was just watching it.
Observing.
Yeah, exactly. And met up with the homeboy Cobes. Cobes, you know what I mean? And went to his house, him and his cousin. Dude, these guys were on another level. When I heard them scratch, I was just like, I didn't even want to touch the turntables because they were just on another platform. You know what I'm saying? They were like really heavy duty. And we're talking, you know, late 90s, early 2000s. And that's when I decided to get my first set. I was just like, yeah, I got to have one. I always wanted to have a turntable. And back then, it was hard for me to obtain it. I didn't have the money, you know. But I remember finding, what was it, like the white page? The white page.
Yeah.
Found the white page.
Penny Saver?
Yeah, the Penny Saver. I was on the hunt, dude. You know what I mean? I was on the hunt, and I found this dude all the way in San Diego selling a setup. It was a good deal, 2 1200s, and this enormous mixer. It was not a Vestax. It was nothing to cut with. It was like a
Radio Shack?
4. No, it was like a 4. I don't know. I think it was a Newmark. But it was like a 4 channel. You know, it was like a house when you're doing multiple turntables. Talked to the homeboy Les. He went with me to pick it up, San Diego, man. You know, came back, stopped at Beat Nonstop, Melrose, went to Fat Beats. Because I had the turntables now, but I didn't have any wax. So, you know, it's like...
Step number 2.
Yeah, exactly. I heard you talking about No ID and Common Sense earlier. That was one of my first LPs, one of the singles, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Came up on that. Super Duck Breaks, or, you know, that was my first scratch record. And I just been buying records ever since, man. You know, even when I don't have no money, I don't even know how I do it. You know, it's like it can get expensive. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. When there's a piece of vinyl that I've been really wanting, I somehow I managed to get it.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's how I got my first set of turntables, and I never really tried MCing.
Yeah.
You know, that's I'm not built for that. That's you have to be, you know, really gifted and talented in my perspective, you know. But yeah, that's how I got my first set of turntables, man.
Did you ever know that there was such things as scratch records when you first came up? Because I know when we were growing up, we didn't know anything about, you know, the turntables world. We just got into it. You know, we got our turntables, and then we just bought records because we were records.
Yeah.
Did you know about scratch records, or you didn't know about that?
I did.
Oh, you did?
I did, because I did know about that because I talked to the homeboy Cobes, and when we were at his house one time, we made this mixtape, and we had a session for like 2-3 hours. He recorded everything back and forth, both sides of the tape, so there were scratching on there.
Yeah.
So when I first got my my setup, he told me, look for this. If you see this, pick up this. So he actually kind of like helped me out on getting the fundamentals, you know.
Right.
And
That's dope.
yeah. So he, you know, back then there was a lot of DJs that kind of kept everything to themselves. They didn't want to share information, you know. And I think that still happens now, you know. But there's on the other side of the coin, there's some dudes that are willing to like help you out and, yo, grab this record. This is a good LP. You know, this producer. I remember the homie Les. Shout out to the homie Les. Dope ass designer. That's who helped me out with this design right here. But he told me something that I still remember to this day. And this is when the Record Alley was selling good music, man. They were selling good LPs. Dale, shout out to Dale too. Dale used to work at the Record Alley. The homeboy Les told me, yo, anytime you see a white label with hardly any writing, pick that up, because that's independent.
Yeah.
You know that. So anytime I saw white labels with minimum writing, no logos, no design, that's, you know, I picked that up, and I got some pretty good dope LPs.
Yeah.
You know, with that kind of knowledge. So
Yeah, I wish we would have known that shit.
Yeah,
Man.
for reals.
But
That's trial and error for us.
Yeah. But when we would go digging, we'd look for like the certain types of like records, psychedelic stuff like that. And that's just what we were brought up on.
Right.
Yeah, that's always fun going digging, man. You know, he knows, we all know. It's
I love it.
It's
dude.
fun digging, man.
It's not enough time.
Nah,
not enough time and not enough money.
I was just gonna say that. Not enough time or money. Yeah, no doubt.
I've been wanting to go digging again, man. There's this place in Hemet. He does it like the day of for his records, his little event.
Right.
But I was gonna hit you guys up to go. Homie Rockwell told me about it, man. But you go there, you find so much stuff. This guy has records and records and records, dude. Some pricey, some cheap.
Yeah.
But if you guys are down, like we can get it going. I thought it would be sometime this month. So if not, it'll be. He does it. He said always the first Saturday of the month.
That's dope. I'm down.
That'd
Yeah.
be dope.
Get some wax. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So when did you start getting into wanting to make a brand? Like, what inspired you to create it?
It's been maybe like, I started just making these shirts not that long ago. You know, I think I started printing these shirts out maybe about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. And just to put it on a shirt, it wasn't really to be making money or to be, I don't know how I can put it. It was just for myself, really, you know.
Yeah.
I like rocking some nice gear, whatever, but my shirts, I'm like, I just did it for myself and for, personal friends and
Mhm.
anybody that is at the shows, that they can pick it up. So it was about 2 years when I first started. The Quest for Sound name has been, I've had that for maybe like 6 years. But I just started putting it on shirts. I reached out to the homeboy Les, started working on some designs. I've known Les for 20 plus years, and he's a really super talented artist. He's another gifted individual that I was surrounded with since the '90s. Also a sick ass writer. I still have some of his pieces from Facebook.
Oh, nice.
So I reached out to him and he hooked me up, and I just started putting them on shirts and pass them out. Anybody wants to buy some, it's cool.
How'd the name come to you? Like
Quest for Sound name?
Yeah.
Quest for Sound. Quest for Sound came about. I was talking to this guy that I known too for quite some long time. Soul. Soul is a guy that makes beats, but I haven't heard from him in the last 4 years. I don't know what happened. I worry about him because I don't know what he's up to. I just lost all communications with him, and once in a while he pops in my head, and I'm just hoping that he's doing all right. But he's a keyboard player, man. Really, really talented keyboard player. And Quest for Sound came about with him. I started talking to him, and him and his brother. His brother plays guitar, bass guitar. I try to fool around with the drums. So Quest for Sound came about because we used to get together in a garage and just bang out for hours.
Okay.
We rotate. I try to get on the guitar, but I suck. The bass. I like the bass. The bass is sick. But mainly the drums. I'm just drawn to the drums, That's why when we had that session over at Flat Black,
Yeah.
I was like, let's incorporate drums because drums are like, they're sick.
Yeah.
In my eyes, in my ears, I should say more like in my ears. So I was talking to my homeboy Soul, and we wanted to have our own little kind of group, something, just something to call our own.
Yeah.
We didn't really say it was gonna be a group, and we were not gonna have like practice because it was just all like freestyle.
Right.
It was all improvising.
Jamming out.
Yeah, and that's how the Quest for Sound came about. We're thinking of a name. We're thinking for like a month, and he couldn't come up with anything. I couldn't come up with anything until one day, it just hit me. It's like the fact that we didn't have like an actual song when we play music or instruments. We didn't have like a certain rhythm. We were just, whenever I heard him find a hook on his keys, I would try to adapt the drums to that and vice versa. So it was like kind of like it came to me. I was like, we're kind of just like questing, like we're out there just looking to see where we land and see what comes about. And it just hit me. I was just like, Quest for Sound, We're all kind of like, you have your own, like when you're making beats, you're like trying to manifest the sounds that are in your head, right, and make that beat, whether it's hip hop, whether it's rock, whether a producer,
Dark No.
yeah, anything, you're kind of like that's kind of how I came about with that.
And it's funny, dude, because when I first met you, I remember you and C4 rolled through. I always thought Quest for Sound was you and C4 for the longest time.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh damn, cool. Like, they're both. Like I was gonna hit him up for a Quest for Sound shirt one time, and I was like, nah.
Big up, yeah. Shout out to the homeboy C4, man. That's a cool dude right there. I had that Quest for Sound thing, and I was actually doing this event for Flat Black back before they were in their first shop right off of Hobley.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? And and C4 came through, and we started DJing together, and that's how I met him. And we just got along, you know. We started talking about music. We started supporting one another, and I just, you know, I told him, yo, you know, if you want to roll with me, kind of get on this, and it's completely up to you, you know. And
build.
He was with it, you know. And then later on, I reached out to the homeboy Cobes. He's out in San Diego, and, you know, and every time I get together with that dude and we scratch, he just makes me want to step it up, you know.
And this funny thing about Cobes is that I never knew who he was till like I started meeting you, and I actually got to meet him. But I would always hear stories like Cobes was tearing it up back in the day, Lord. Not back in the day, but when, you know, everyone was DJing heavy, you know, here in the Valley.
Yeah.
But I would always hear stories of Cobes.
Yeah. He has a sick record collection too, man. He has tons and tons of wax, dude. You know, it's like, just when I think I have something like, all right, I show, oh yeah, dude, I got that. but he doesn't say it in
Test pressing, bro.
Yeah. He doesn't say it in a way to make me feel bad or anything. You know, It's like he says it in a way like, oh, that's dope. Now you got that too. You know. So yeah, he's cool. So I hit him up too, and I was just like, you know, because he started this thing too called Mad Symphony.
Oh, okay.
And that's, you know, that's Coles. I think Manifest is on there. Shout out to the homeboy Manifest too. And it's just like the scratcher thing, you know. It's like we're all from the Valley. We all know each other, you know. I know you DJ, you scratch, you do it. You know, mainly this is where it started.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like in your own comfort, in your own spot where you felt out of place, but you didn't feel weird.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you started gathering the skills that now you have. So that's the thing. We were just all like a community. We were sprawled out, but when we got together, it's like, yo, let's cut it up. Like, okay, cool, you know. And every time I would hear Codes, I'm just like, damn, dude, how can this guy get any better? You know what I mean? And he's also like, he's a really, he's one of those cats that he's not fronting. Like, he'll tell me, yo, you gotten better. And I'm thinking to myself, yo, I haven't, you know? So he kind of gives you that build-up.
Yeah.
And that's something that not a lot of people do. So, you know, I have a lot of respect for that dude right there.
Yeah,
he's a cool cat.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I've only met him once, and it was just like a high and by. I remember that.
Right.
So I can't really. But I mean, yeah, I did hear stories too how he's been killing it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really cool, man.
Yo, I'm trying to get his cousin back in the game, man. His cousin is another killer, dude. He's sick on the tables, but I can't. I saw him at the A's maybe like, well, I think it was when DJ Day's last reunion thing. I saw him there, and I was just like, yo, I was so surprised to see him. We caught up a little bit, but I'm trying to get him back on the tables because that dude is serious business too. You know, but I can't seem to just find them. You know,
that sucks, man. When they're talented and they just fall out of it, you know, and not really have the drive anymore. Or I don't even know if it's the love, you know. It's just they just stop doing it. It always sucks to hear that.
Yeah,
I think we all go through that though. We all go through a phase where it's like it's not fun at the time anymore. Maybe you might have another interest.
Right.
So I mean, I think that's everybody, but some people it's hard to get out of that hole.
Right. Yeah.
Because I was telling you earlier how like I kind of stepped back from making beats because I just been focusing on other stuff, you know, the podcast, the clothes,
right,
all that stuff too.
Yeah.
Actually, today I made a beat, which is cool.
Yeah.
Nice,
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying. You know, because for a while there, I couldn't I had other responsibilities with my financial. So my record buying wasn't as heavy as I wanted it to be. Right. You know, like I remember going to Amoeba, man, and I think I dropped like almost 4 bills.
Damn.
You know? And I was okay because I knew that I was going there, so I was actually saving some cash so it wouldn't take away from my other responsibilities.
Right.
You know? And but then that also I put a stop to it because of you know, you have responsibilities. But just lately, within the last 2 years, I've been just like spending money on wax, and it's ridiculous, man.
I got a good question. Is there like a certain spot you go to where you know you're gonna get like some really really good wax?
Yeah. Feel It in San Diego. Feel It has some heat. Shout out to the homeboy Mark. Feel It in San Diego and swap meets. You know, swap meets are swap meet is
Beat swap
really. You know what? To be honest with you, I've actually never been to a beat swap meet. I just think any kind of swap meet where you see a crate, and that's the thing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's the thing about DJing, just how the graffiti writer always has the writing in them. When you are a DJ, you can be driving, minding your own business, right? And you see a garage sale and you see a crate, you're gonna stop.
Yeah.
I already knew where you're going.
You know, you're gonna stop. And you're like, for $1, $2, even if it's not the best shape,
Yeah.
you pick it up because you're just into buying records.
I'll give you 15 for this whole crate.
Yeah, it's pretty much, you know.
You're a damn fool. I spent $500 on that.
Okay, 20.
25 and you got a deal.
Yeah.
Dude, I know what you mean. Like, every time I pass like a Goodwill, because they always have records, I'm always like, oh, stop. Okay.
Yeah. 10 minutes.
It's like the toy section too. Like at the stores, you always got to make that walk down the toy section, or flipping vinyl records. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. So to go back to where you're asking me, Feel It. Here in the valley, I like going to Finders down the street here, in La Quinta. Finders. Dale.
I like that spot.
Yeah, Dale gets, you know, I like going to Dale's because he has just all kinds. He doesn't have a specific one, you know.
Yeah.
He has so much things, and yeah.
Is there like a certain type when you go digging that you look for, like, or you just like go in there just like, oh, whatever I get, whatever I get. You know?
Besides the white label.
Yeah.
Besides, I'm just pretty open. I'm pretty open, and if I see something that I heard back in the '90s, I pick it up.
Okay.
You know, if I see something that looks interesting, I'll pick it up. Sometimes I think, I mean, it's just my point of view, but with wax too, is like it's a gamble.
Yeah.
You know, I went to San Luis Obispo about 2 weeks ago, and I stopped at this record store called, I think it's called, man, I'm drawing a blank, but it's the second time I've been there, and heat every time. You know, but it kind of reminds me a little bit of Fat Beats because you walk in the front door and there's like a lot of CDs, You want to hit the wax, you got to go to the back room.
Yeah,
you know, you got to go all the way in the back. And I picked up some good music, and both times that I went, I dropped like about 140, 150. You know, and picked up some really good. Picked up my first mulatto record. You know, I still haven't opened it, but that Ethiopian jazz is just, I dig it. You know, I dig that for sure. Other spots, I used to go to Fat Beats back in the day. And just lately, I've been buying a lot of stuff through the mail, man. That's a dangerous thing.
Before it gets too hot?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I haven't bought anything in the last month because of the heat.
I ordered Evidence's album. His new album he's working on vinyl. But it's supposed to come last month, but it hasn't come yet. So I'm getting nervous because it's getting hotter.
Yeah.
I'm like, shoot, man, I hope the record doesn't come out all warm.
Yo, I was actually talking to C4 about this because he brought it up, but it was in the back burner for me. They're thinking about getting a P.O. box. You know, because like for P.O. boxes, they seed out right there, so you get a notice when you can go pick it up. So that was something. But if I do that, I'm just gonna spend more money. You know, it's like it's a love-hate thing. You know, it's like I love records, but
do you have like
I hate being broke.
Do you have a room dedicated to just records, or
not yet?
No,
I'm working on that.
it's just all in the garage, or
No, I can't have them in the garage.
Hell no.
No. I'm actually, I was talking, shout out to the homeboy Vic. I was talking to Vic from Scratcher about this design. I'm making this design similar to what you see right there, you know. Right. I got the sleeve of the record and I took a measurement. I'm building cubbies that you can add on. So, you know, you have one cubby and you can actually, whatever record you're playing, you can pull it out and it has enough room where you can sit it in there.
Oh, okay.
You know, similar to what you see right there. But just how that one, there's 6 cubbies. This one is like one at a time. So if I buy more records, I just add another box.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then I
almost
add
like Legos.
Yeah. And then I'm building. So I'm building those. But as of right now, I don't have like a room for my records and my. I was talking to Hondo about this. A listening room. You know, it'll be dope. It'll be really fresh if I can get that. But right now, I have them wherever they're at. You know, they're right there.
Yeah, I remember when we used to chill with the homies, exact opposites. They wouldn't have that much wax, but the stuff that they did have, they would just like turn it on, like you just get the record, put it on, turn it on, and then they'll just both be chilling at the house, like they didn't have cable or anything. They just listen to the records. And I remember going over to their house a couple times, and it's like you hear some fucking jams that they had, and it's like, damn, dude, can I borrow it? They're like, nope.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
No.
And that's fly, man. That's fly when you DJ for yourself. You know what I mean? Like you're here at your house, you're here in your room, you're here, and you make the time. Just how you guys being creative. You set a certain time to go to work and do your production. But it's dope when you're start picking vinyl that you like, that you dig, you just drop it, and then you just go back and you're just picking it and you're hearing your favorite songs. I actually got into this music and record players and all that. I never got into it to go play at clubs or anything. It was just for me to scratch and to just have, because on wax you get music that you don't get on CD or on tape, instrumentals, you get mad instrumentals, acapellas, and that's why I got into it, so yeah, man.
It's like those, like they always say, diamond in the rough. You always find that one song or that one loop you might, because the way I look at it is I look at it as a producer or a beat maker,
right?
So you find that you hear that one loop and it's like, oh, shit's dope. Or like earlier when we're listening to the 45 you gave us, you hear that one sample, it's like, oh, dude, that's that Common sample, and then you're saying that the other dude sampled it too. It's like, that's freaking sick, man. Hell yeah.
I love that. On that note, I remember, and I think everybody has a story. When you buy records, everybody has a story of when they found like one of the best LPs for the cheapest thing you can ever think about, right? It goes back to what we were talking about earlier. I went to the Pomona car swap meet years ago. And this is a swap meet for vehicles. Whatever you can think of, they have it. And I'm walking by and I see this dude that has like 3 crates. And I was just like, all right, I'm not here for the car parts,
Yeah.
I started digging, dude, and I came up. $30 got me like a good ass stack. I got Exhibit's Paparazzi.
Oh, damn.
Right?
Yeah.
I got that. Check this out. I got Nas, produced by, what is it? Large Professor?
Oh, yeah.
The one, and it's just the white label, and it just says Nas in red. And I read about that LP in this magazine called l.hundo. I picked up this magazine. It was like underground music. I got that in Hawaii back in like 2000. I subscribed to it, but it was mainly focused in Atlanta. All the music that was popping off. But then that magazine was dope because every issue, it would tell you about a Dusty Crate record. It would tell you, oh, this is where they got the sample. They will show you the cover. So when I got that, I was like, I asked the guy, I was like, how much were these LPs? He was like, $250 or 2 for $3. I didn't say anything, dude. You know, I just kept quiet, and I got that. I got
this whole crate $30.
and I still have that. And when we do shows or when we go rock at Peace or whatever, I'll take it once in a while, you know, because that's, and it has the instrumental, you know what I mean? So
That's
like,
dope.
yeah.
You couldn't get a second copy just so you can like still...
I wish I had a second copy,
man.
but the dude was just what he had.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of records I had that are super, super dope, but I only got one copy of it. I was like, oh, man, screw it, at least I have one, man.
Yeah. On that note, what you just said, doubles, I was actually at Finders, and since we're talking about Nas, or I brought up Nas, I got doubles there at Finders of, now I'm drawing a blank on this name of this LP. It's a single. Who Shot Ya?
Oh, yeah.
And that's a pretty good one to have two instrumentals to go back and forth, you know? And I was like, doubles, pick them up, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, I got the, what's it? Method Man and Redman, the Tear the Roof Off. Dude, that was always like one of our favorite songs growing up, and then just to find it on wax and to find two of them. Dude, I struck gold. I was like, I have to buy this. I don't care how much it is.
Yep.
But yeah, there's always those records you want to spend a little more money on because it's just that one you need to have.
Yeah. 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 What's the most that you have spent on a piece of wax?
A piece of wax?
Yeah.
It was a single, and no, it wasn't a single. It was an instrumental album. DJ Premier's instrumental album. I spent like I think $35 on it.
Oh, okay.
But it's dope. It has like all the instrumentals all the hits that he had.
Right.
And I still have it to this day, man. That has like just front and back, all the instrumentals, and it's freaking super, super rare, man.
Nice.
Because now you can't find that anymore.
Nice. That's dope.
Nice.
That's dope. What about you, Larry?
As far as samples, I spent, I think the most is 35, maybe $40. I can't remember, with this place in Hemet that I will go to.
Right.
But this guy, the last time I went there, he had this one that caught my eye. It was African percussion or African jazz. I cannot remember, but I saw the cover and then I read the name and I was like, oh, I gotta get that. And then I had it in my crate and my stack of records. And then I looked at the price. It was $100. And I was like, I looked quick when I first got it. I was like, oh, $1, I'm gonna take it. It's mine, you know. So I asked him. I was like, hey, and I looked again. I was like, is this the price? He goes, some records I have in there are $1,000.
Yeah. I
was like, whoa. But if I go there next time, I might get it. Because if I find it a third time, it's probably meant to be.
Yeah.
Because I saw it twice already. I don't remember if I said that, but I saw it twice. Third time though, if I go back, I'm gonna get it.
It's yours.
Yep.
But he says he has like some records that are $1,000, $2,000. Like he has a crazy collection. But I really would not like really hold. I would spend whatever, if it's worth it. I would spend the money.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
It just means to me though, like the way I look at it is like, if I'm gonna get this record for $100, that means I cannot get all these other ones for like $5-10.
Yeah.
I can only have that one. You know, I try to go in with the budget.
Set a price point.
Yeah, like $200, and then if it goes over that, then we'll see. But usually I try to stay in that range.
Okay.
How about you? You the most spent on a one piece of wax?
I think no. It was about.
I'm still paying for it.
Yeah. Took out a personal loan. It was about the same range, 40,
Yeah.
$45. I think it was actually about two. About what's this guy? I'm probably gonna butcher his name. Washington, saxophone player. This is jazz, but it was actually
Brenton Washington.
Nah, starts with a K. I don't know. But it was actually worth it because it's like a box set and it has 3.
Oh, okay.
You know, so it's actually 3 LPs for about 45.
Yeah.
That one, and I think I spent that much on DJ Days, Land of Thousand, Steel Seal. Haven't cracked open that one, and I think that's about the most. There's this one dude, $60 worth, but I think I might have sent you the Ornette Coleman, the Love Call. I don't know if I sent you that one.
I don't remember.
This jazz record that I heard, bro, and I'm just every time I hear that record, I'm just like it stops me in my tracks, you know, because there's just so much to it. It's almost like an abstract piece of art. You know, you look at it one time and you think you catch something, but then you see it again and there's multiple layers, you know?
Right.
And this dude's asking $60 for it, but it's through the mail. And I'm just like, if he has it after the heat's gone, I'll probably pull the trigger on that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever find some gems for like super, super dirt cheap? Like crazy dirt cheap? Like, I don't even know. I feel bad buying it for this price, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually, yeah, right there, Finders.
Yeah, actually I found the Saturday Night Live or Saturday Night Fever, the Bee Gees.
Okay.
I found that for like 99 cents at a thrift store. Then I look online and that thing's worth like freaking like $300. Like, still in the package.
Nice.
Like, dang, dude.
Yeah, I found the Mexican on 45.
Oh, that's
at the record alley for $1. So I'm like, pick that up.
$4, dude.
No, for
that's
$1.
Oh, $1. Oh, that's
$1,
super
bro.
still, dude.
You know, so I swooped that up. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, so it's crazy how lucky you can get, man. You buy these records for like $1 or something like that, and you later find out they're worth like a lot more. But you know you're not gonna get rid of it.
Never, bro. Never. No.
Or the ones that you get that are dirt cheap and that you never heard before, and they got so much fire songs on there. It's like, wow, dude. Like,
yes,
that's what I love.
Yeah.
Like that one I got. I finally found out the band. It's called Yes.
Oh yeah,
the rock band. But that record pack I got at Finders, and it wasn't a lot, but I was so amazed at how good all the songs are on there. It's like I was telling the homie at work, it takes you on a journey, dude. Like, I don't have to do drugs, but it takes you on that journey like you want to do drugs. But the songs are all like amazing. Like that's one of my favorite bands now.
Yeah.
Yes.
That and another one I got. I mean, it's going forever. I got so much good ones that are for dirt cheap. So I just know it's super dope.
Yeah.
Get some awesome ones.
I also think about, you know, when you have, I mean, your all of these comes to your mind, right? I also think about like how it ties down to like when you're into tattoos and you're like, oh, okay, I got this one because you know, I remember what I was going through. So when it comes down to records, like, oh man, I remember when I got this one when you dropped the needle, you know.
Yeah.
And now that we're talking about it, I was actually in Guadalajara, man, and I started asking locals. You know where they sell records? I wanted to get some Los Angeles Negros. That was my main, main focus to get that. And they're like, no. A lot of people told me, nah, vinilo, they don't make those anymore. You know, and I'm like,
living in the Stone Age.
Yeah. Until I hit somewhere, you know, because you know in Mexico there's those little stores, mom and pops little stores. I hit up the guy behind the counter. Oh, see, I know where there's one. It's over there by El Centro. And we made our way over there, bro, and got some dope jazz records right there.
Oh, nice.
You know what I mean? I don't know if I send it to you, but the Gifted One's one of my favorite jazz records, man. It's just like, I think it's what's his name, Duke Ellington or something like that. I could be completely wrong, but good records, bro. I'm gonna send you some. I'm gonna send you some sounds, bro.
I always appreciate it when you send it, especially at work, because like most of the times I'll start listening to stuff at work, and I was like, oh, this is the one the homie told me about, so I'm gonna just listen to this album.
Yeah, And I got there. I got maybe that's how I got introduced to Pablo records. Pablo records. Every time I see a Pablo like a record, there's a jazz record and it says Pablo. You know the little kind of like I think it's almost like a stick figure. I'm like, okay, I'll swoop it up because you know it's gonna be like a 90% chance that I'm gonna get something good out of there.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, I remember going there and digging there in Mexico. That's dope. Nice. You probably dig that store. It was an old bookstore and an old record store. So as soon as you walk through that door, you just feel the age. You know, you just pick up the smell of like scent. Old book. You know, it's like people were looking at us weird first because we're looking for records. You know, but the guy knew his work. The guy knew just like you were telling me. The guy behind the counter, he knew how much some of those were worth. You know, even down there, they know what's up.
Yep.
You know.
Hell
yeah.
You know what I wish is to pick up more break beats, like the songs of break beats. For me, that was always hard for me to find. Like I could never be like, oh, I always went in blindly looking for breakdowns of dope break beats to sample that. And even though they came out with like sample packs already and records that have all break beats, but there's like a couple I got in there that I came across, but that's one thing I've always wanted more of, like that way you can put that record on and like, oh, the break beats coming up.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah, those are tough to find sometimes, you know.
So what's your favorite genre that you have like a lot of wax on?
A lot of wax.
I mean vinyl, my bad.
Yeah. I think mainly it's gonna go back to hip hop.
Okay.
You know, hip hop. If you dig or if you flip through my stacks, you might find a lot of hip hop on there. You know. But I've been getting a little bit more into records, like more jazz.
Nice.
You know. I'm a fan to a certain extent, you know, of jazz. I like jazz.
What kind of, you like the smooth jazz or that hardcore?
I like both, man. I like one of my favorite songs is Take 5, the Dave Brubeck. It's one of my favorite songs. You know, I just like the format on a jazz band that gives you that freedom to do, you know, you get your time to do your solo, where you can wild out, you can, you know, pretty much express whatever you feel like doing for a certain amount of time, and then you come back to the rhythm, you know.
That's what I noticed on jazz music. Like almost every artist gets their time to their solo part.
Yeah,
I always thought that was dope.
Yeah, so that's why I think I go back to that song, you know, Dave Brubeck, Take 5. Like I'm hearing the piano, then I'm hearing the drummer, you know, and then they all take their turns, but they go back to their place, you know, and it brings me back to I think I sent you that Micah 9 freestyle, right?
Oh yeah.
Where he talks about the improvisation of a jazz solo where you can almost like, you know, and I tie it down to the turntables, you know?
Yeah.
Like you know the combos, you know the routine, you know what you're doing, but then you also kind of step out of that path.
Yeah.
You know, you step out of there, you express yourself. You try to do the best to express yourself, you know, especially when you're manipulating a record and the sound waves. It's pretty intense. And then you go back. You know, that's why I really like that Take 5, man. That song, I can always listen to Take 5. I listen to it in my truck real loud, you know, when I'm driving by myself at nighttime. You know, like that's a really dope. And you know what's funny? I found out about Take 5 because I was actually training this guy. He got hired where I was working at, and he brought the CD, the Dave Brubeck Band, and Eric Clapton. And then one day he just quit. He left, never showed up, and those CDs stuck in my car. And I still have the CD, but I also find it on wax.
Nice.
You know, so now I have both. You know, and that's a song that That and I'm a fan of Wes Montgomery. Wes Montgomery is dope. I really like Wes Montgomery. You know, yeah, man, dope guitarist.
You know what I've been getting into lately is like the Billie Holiday era.
Ooh.
I've been into that lately. I've been listening to a lot of that. Like,
Yes.
and just in my headphones, like people think I'm listening to like probably some like gangster rap, but I'm
Word,
listening to
yeah.
freaking, Billie Holiday and shit.
Yeah.
I'm going off. I'm just like, ooh, this is dope.
Yeah. Yeah, I get funny looks, because I work construction. So here's, this carpenter trying to be carpenter or whatever, but everybody at the jobs, they got other cumbias, they got corridos, whatever. And I'll go from like, I don't know, the Fusic, I'll go with something funky. I'll go to James Brown, and the playlist just goes to like Dave Brubeck, some jazzy, and to Beethoven. Is that how you say it?
Beethoven?
Yeah. So I just get funny stares, but it's all good.
Like they don't expect you to be playing that?
Nah. So it's all good. That's why it's good to have my headphones too. When I'm working by myself, then I pull my box out.
Yep.
Yeah, man. It's dope.
But I do want to get some records. What I was thinking about doing is collecting CDs. Like original press CDs, not the burn ones, not the... I want to get some CDs and just, I don't know, have them in my collection.
That's funny. The homegirl at work, Sandra, she hit me. I ran into her the other day, and she was like, I was talking to her about music, and she was like, Larry, like, I'm going to be moving down here soon, and I'm bringing all my CDs, like, and I was like, you should... She said she's going to give them to me, and she says, you can go through and take whatever you want. I was like, that's dope. Like oh, that's awesome. But I was like, you sure you don't want to, like, look into these? Because some of these might be worth money, because it's getting very popular to collecting CDs now. And she goes, no, that's okay. You can just take them. I was like, oh, okay. I might have some CDs, so I want to see. I'm also curious to see what, like, her taste in music.
Yeah.
Like, because she liked a lot of old school techno, or like beginning stages of techno, and she said the 80s and 90s too. So I want to see what she's about, like her era. Yeah, right. Dude, that's getting popular.
Yeah, that, and I still have some cassettes too. Some cassettes, some Ice-T, NWA, Easy, all those.
I still have tapes, man. I got CDs, and I still have tapes. Back when I first moved here, over there in Palm Springs, and in the neighborhood where I was staying at, used to get this box truck, almost like the UPS, but they would sell groceries out of there. They would sell soaps, and they had 2 or 3 boxes of tapes. They were bootleg tapes, but they were tapes, and that's how my hip hop started growing. I got some Eric B right there, Rakim. I got that. I still have it. I'll send you a picture. I still got a bootleg copy of and Les knows what I'm talking about. Bootleg copy of Above the Law.
Oh yeah.
Above the Law, and I still rock it, man. I still have my tapes. Yeah, definitely. There's some things you hold on to, man.
Dude, I had a bootleg version of Breakin'. I remember that.
Oh yeah. Nice. Yeah, man.
Like, there's no stopping us. It's like, I don't know, we're into some weird shit.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Ozone, though, man.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you one more thing. Was I already asked you about your name, about C4. I got confused, but oh yeah, as far as like, you ever thought about getting into like just beat making or looping some of your wax and shit like that?
Yeah, I have thought about it. I actually I bought an MPC, but something was wrong with this. It wasn't cooperating right. I ended up selling it to the Homeboy Smoke one. He took it. I see myself working with that, but to be honest with you, kind of, it reminds me of what you guys talked in the previous episode. It's like, not that I don't have enough time. It's just it's a little bit more it's hard for me to make the time for that. You know, but you never know, man. I'm looking at the MPC right now. It's looking pretty lovely.
Nice.
You know, so you never know. I actually did get a nice beat machine. I think it was the XR20.
Oh, okay.
You know, let my homeboy Soul borrow it, and that's when he went missing. So I never got it back. It'll be dope. There's some. I think I might have. I don't know if I'd send them to you, to Hundo, but I did make a loop of some Erykah Badu, and yeah, I wouldn't mind getting into a little bit more production, more beats, and dropping some beats.
Because a lot of the stuff I'm hearing now, the lo-fi hip hop, you know, I don't know if you ever heard any of that shit, but the lo-fi hip hop is like some of the samples they find on there, they're super like you can tell exactly where they're at, like where they're from and stuff,
Right.
and they're not caring. They just like it because you put like some dope drums on it, and that's freaking dope.
Right.
And I realized one of the songs too was just a loop from a record, and they looped one of the drum patterns from a different record, and then that's all that beat was. But it sounded perfect. Like I could listen to that loop all day.
Yeah,
one of those loops.
Yeah, not get tired of it, man. Whoever that producer was that did that, man. Props to you. I love those little loops like that.
Right. Yeah. I hear you.
Yeah, just let us know if you do want to get into it, man. We're always down to help anybody, man.
That's dope.
We want everybody to just find their passion and just do it.
Yep.
Yeah. I was actually talking this before about that new MPC, that retro one.
Oh yeah.
It's
An MPC one.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
They did like the retro one.
Oh, the look.
Yeah. It's newer update, I guess, you know, but something about that drive and the disc, and you know, I don't know, man. Those MPCs it's just something that ties together.
Yeah.
With, you know, having a 1200 or, you know, a turntable with your mixer. Like I'm looking at the setup right now. I'm just like, this is where it goes down right here. This is where
It's a happy place for me, man. I could be here all day just creating, or just listening to loops over and over. Like, yeah, I'm an introvert, and I could just do this all day. Like, I could just be here, an antisocial type of person, and hang out.
Yeah, no, it's a good setup, man. As soon as you walk through the door, you feel like it's a good place right here.
No, that's awesome.
I walked in, I was just like, yeah, man.
Vibes, the good energy.
Yeah, definitely. You know, so definitely creative space. That's good.
So I did want to ask you also, do you have any any type of goal or intention with pushing your Quest for Sound brand? Or any type of mission, you know?
Yeah. You know, the goal was just to have something homemade, like something homegrown. You know, you never know. I think sometimes you start homegrown and then it takes off. It's just, you know, a flourish, and you get a lot of support and you get a lot of love. You know, but when you do something, whether it's making a beat, whether, you know, it's DJing for the homie or whatever, I think it starts out of the heart, and it just kind of like, it's for your surroundings, you know? It's like making these shirts. I never was expecting, you know, 50 Cent or someone to be rocking it. I mean, if they do, cool, you know? But I'm not going to pay someone to rock my shirt, you know, or my gear. If you feel comfortable using it, if you feel like turning it into a cleaning rag, whatever. But my goal was just to have something like homegrown, something to call your own, you know.
That's dope.
It wasn't really like mainstream. It was never intended. Just like I mentioned earlier, when I got my set of tables, I was really never looking to go DJ at a club, you know, for booty songs or, you know, no disrespect, by all means, you know, do your thing. But it's just for my cup of tea for myself is just, you know, if I see Larry, you know, on vacation in Hawaii rocking a shirt, you know, appreciate it. You know, if I see him, you know, cleaning his garage with the shirt, much love, you know. So the goal was just to have something to call your own, to kind of just be around here.
Right.
You know.
Now, how do you feel when you see, like, if you're out somewhere, have you seen anyone rocking your gear? Or even just at an event, how do you feel when you see that?
I haven't, not that I can remember, you know, I haven't seen anybody. But I think that would be pretty fly. You know, I think that'll be pretty dope. Like when I was watching the podcast and, you know, you were showing love and support and you were rocking, I was like, oh, snap. You know, that's cool.
Yeah.
You know, that's cool. Because you don't really have to, you know, like nobody's forcing you. I'm not forcing you, you know what I'm saying? So it's really, really welcome and appreciated, you know. So I think it'll be cool, you know, do a session or we go out of town and somebody's rocking a shirt.
No, you said you have other designs? Or are you gonna work on having?
Yeah,
other designs?
I have some designs that I haven't put on shirts. I think I might have put a post on the page on the account the baseball script with the 12 and the 45. You know, I would like to work on those and get those printed. The Johnny Quest, I would like to get that up and running. And I don't know. I might hit up Les and see if he wants to work with me on another design. You know. So yeah, maybe those two as of right now.
Nice.
You know, get some stickers out too. And we'll be doing some giveaways too. You know. So stick around.
Where can people find your gear?
They can hit me up. You know, they can hit me up when I do pop-ups. I've only done one pop-up, but
one of many.
Yeah, but they can hit me up. I'll mail them. You know, I can meet you. They can just hit me up on the DMs. Hit me up for sizes. You know, if you have a special request, if you want something specific, just hit me up. You know, I'm also thinking of doing packages like a shirt, some 45s, some stickers, you know, like a little package that's worth grabbing, you know. So yeah, something like that.
His name will be in the bio.
Yes.
Down below.
Or click here.
Click here.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do all that fancy stuff, man.
We're not up there yet.
Yeah.
Once we get an editor, we can do all that stuff.
Word. Yeah, man.
Yes, everybody check him out, man. He's doing his thing in the valley, in the Coachella Valley. I don't like saying the valley, but yeah, he's doing his thing around here, man.
Yeah. Appreciate it, man.
But
much love.
Scratch at Coachella, man. That's super, super dope.
Yeah.
You know,
Much love. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but much love to the whole Scratcher. Not only the Scratcher Coachella team, but you know all the DJs that are out there that probably haven't gone to one of our sessions, but you know you're in the elements. Much love to y'all. You know that's how it keeps on going, and hopefully we can put another session together soon.
Oh, I can't wait.
You know,
yeah,
it'll be fun.
We're due for a session, bro.
Yeah,
starting to clear up, man. We'll finally do a proper session.
Yeah, and tag us, repost, do whatever you gotta do, and we'll hook you up with the shirt. We'll hook you up with some stickers that you can slap in your car or wherever. You know, Quest for Sound, Scratcher Coachella. We're all a team. We're all a community of music aficionados. So yeah,
Bunch of homies that just want everyone to just come up, you know, support each other, just help each other, build each other up.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about at the end of the day. It's just
definitely
coming together, uniting, and rising.
Yup. And keep digging, man. Keep digging.
Yep.
You know, you never stop digging, man.
Life's a garden, dig it.
Yeah, there you go. That's right. Yeah.
Where's my shovel? Because I dig it.
Yeah. Yeah, man. For sure.
Yeah, hit him up, check him out, man. You can actually check out, we got some new merch too, with these all fresh t-shirts. We have a website finally. That's gonna be in the description.
Yes.
It's allfresh.blogspot.com. You can go there and check out all of our podcasts. You can check out our merch, our personal info, our personal likes and dislikes, and our dating profiles. No, I'm kidding.
I like to go to the beach, take long walks, and I like to take care of my rock collection. A couple of rocks. Sometimes they fight, but I take care of them so they don't fight. They're all separated.
I like to drink coffee in my underwear.
Mm-hmm.
When I spill it, I don't have pants, so I don't dirty my pants.
You just enjoy the burn. Like,
oh yes!
That's pretty smart, man. That's really smart right there. I like that.
Yes, thanks everybody for tuning in to All Fresh Chats. Thank you, SN.
Yes.
Thank you for having me, man.
Glad to have you.
Great time.
Yeah.
Great time.
Been talking about getting you on for a while.
Thank you.
But
always a pleasure.
Check him out. Check us out. Man, just check out the whole Scratcher community out here. Not just us, but the whole DJ turntablist.
Yeah, and before we go, man, I just want to make this clear. This didn't just start, man. This has been in the Valley since the early 90s, Hip hop, scratching, graffitiing, MCing has been around. We're not new to this, We've been living these elements, we've been writing, b-boying, graffiti, whatever you want to do, because not all graffiti writers are into hip hop, they can be a punk, they can be whatever, reggae, you know what I mean? So, but I just want to make sure that I put that out there. This is nothing new. People say, "Oh, you started buying records because it's it's trendy." We've been collecting records from day one. So this is nothing new. We didn't just started doing it yesterday, last night. We just don't do it through the mail. Yeah, the mail's cool. You know what I mean? But there's nothing like pulling up, flipping through a crate, and just finding something for
going out of town, taking that trip.
Making a whole day out of it. Spending your rent money on wax. All good, man. For real.
Take a little portable, listen to them before you buy them.
I did that.
If they let
I did that, dude.
Yeah.
It's so awesome. I went to the Goodwill right there in Indio where the faux spot is at, the fuzz spot. And I took it and I was like, I'm gonna just do it. If they tell me something, I'll stop. I'm gonna buy them anyway. So I took my Vestex and played it. I was like, oh, this is that fire right here, fire. I just fucking flip and took, what was good while again was good.
Yeah, because there's some record stores that actually have turntables. You can listen. They'll have like a stack of a certain record, and there's one open that you can listen to it before you buy it. They used to do that at Fat Beats back in the day.
Yeah, I remember I went to Dallas and we went to a record store. There was it was a huge. It looked like basically like a half of a Best Buy. That's how big this record store was. Wow. And there was like a little section where there was like 6 turntables set up, and they had like dirty, messed up freaking headphones. But I mean, they had them all there. And at the time, I already spent like a bunch of money going to Dallas, so I was like, I couldn't buy anything. But I was like, damn, dude, I wish I could buy these, man.
Yep, for sure, man. So appreciate it. Yep.
Peace, everybody.
Peace.
I want to say one thing, well, maybe two. I tried my best to not cuss today. So someone told me the podcast is dope, but you meaning me, said you say the F word too much, and I can't listen to you loud at work. So I gotta try to watch my mouth, but it happens. But I tried my best today.
There it is.
And also, I do want to say I always want to try to say something a little positive, because I don't have much to say sometimes. But try to be the best version of yourself. You're in no competition with anyone. Whatever it is you do, focus on yourself to be a better you. Don't worry about what he's doing. Don't worry about what they're doing. Focus on you. Be the best you. Because no one can be the best version of you, just like you can't be the best version of someone else. But,
that's right.
The only reason I said that is because on our last podcast, I remember you told me that you were telling your lady that you think I'm a little bit better than you, but I didn't really dawn on me till I listened to the podcast over. But yeah, just don't ever think like that, because like I said earlier, no one can be. I can't do what you do. You can't do what I do, but you can be the best you. You know. And I think actually Shylight said that to me back in the Bone Thugs and Harmony show when I was talking to him in the back. But yeah, no one can do what you do. Just be the best version of you.
Your formula might not work. The formula you make might not work for the next person.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just do what you do. Do it because you love it.
And don't cuss.
Don't flipping cuss. Flippers.
Twice it almost slipped, but I kind of caught myself. But I tried.
What the flipping wax is this about?
And it kind of went together, flipping wax.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's wordplay right there.
Peace out.